pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you very much. We will call the August 18 meeting of the Marion City Council to order. The first matter on the agenda is the approval of the agenda. Anyone have any concerns or anything you wish to add or delete from the agenda as published?
I have some additions.
Go ahead.
Oh yeah, that's fine. We need to bring the Nisley agreement to you. We got it finally, everybody's in agreement on it. There's no money attached to it, but we need to have you approve that so we can move forward with them, even though we're kind of moving forward with them already. But it took a little while to get everybody and their ducks in a row. So we're going to bring that. Also, I need to talk about a grant that the library is going to do. Janet Marler has got a letter she's written, and I want to talk briefly about that. For window repair, we've got some issues there, so I want to talk about that too. So maybe those could be items 9 and 10, and then number 9 would become 11, 12, and 13 as we go down the list. Please.
Nisley 9 and the library 10.
Yes, please.
I'm sure Janet will appreciate being able to stay just that much longer.
I move that we approve the agenda, adding those two items on as numbers 9 and 10.
I second.
Thank you. Any discussion? If no discussion, all in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Ayes have it. With regard to the consent agenda, we have the approval of the August 4 minutes of the public hearing we did with regard to deteriorating property, and then the minutes of the August 4 council meeting. Then we have warrants in the amount of $253,651.27. Payroll in the amount of $48,204.80. Anyone want to pull any of those out for further discussion?
I have one question on the warrants.
Go ahead.
Okay. It was for the tornado sirens. We have the bill on that. And my only question was, did it come out to what it originally was planning on being?
Yes.
It was, so that was the amount that was originally planned on. So.
Yes.
Okay. It was like 37,000, I want to say.
Yeah, and then we get another insurance check from the insurance company, because they only sent us the depreciated amount, and now they'll send us the rest since they're all installed and everything's up and going. So.
Cool. That's all I had.
That is do I have a motion then to approve the consent agenda as presented?
I'll make that motion to approve the consent agenda as presented.
I'll second it.
Thank you. All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Ayes have it unanimously. Public comments on the agenda tonight. So this would be, as we've explained before, anything anyone wishes to comment on with regard to items that may see action as you see on the agenda. Anyone wants to make any comments about any of the agenda items? I did forget to, as I have been regularly forgetting, to remind everyone to silence your phones or any electronic devices that make noise of any sort. Thank you. Back to Brian, number 6, the Open Economic Development Director position.
Yes, I was directed to fill the Open Economic Development Director position, but wanted to make sure I had council approval. Haven't had one for a couple of years, but now we wanted to add that in so that we can work on developing our economy here in Marion. So we have the job posted online. It's going to close on the 20th. Right now we have one applicant, to my knowledge, and just want to make sure that's blessed before we move on in that process, please.
Council, the decision to advertise that position was mine. I think under the city code or the city policy, I have superintending authority over the city So I had told Brian to go ahead and publish that. But if there's issues, be happy, someone, we haven't done anything yet. I certainly would want council's approval of whoever might be determined to take the spot. But if anyone wishes to discuss whether we even ought to be advertising, I'd be happy to have that discussion.
Okay with it?
I like it.
Yeah.
Need somebody in that seat.
Yep.
Carry on.
Okay,
Um,
will do.
As far as the process, is that between you and Mike to determine
The,
the interview
well,
process and
well-
the details, or will that come back to another
do,
discussion?
what am I doing here? Do I have to, I've got to.
It doesn't matter whose mic's on.
Okay. We'll obviously do interviews. Even if we only have one applicant, we'll do an interview. We can have, I would probably like to set in on that interview, but I don't have to. So if two of you wanted to participate in that, then it would be the two of you and Brian and whomever else that you guys decided you wanted to have. If only one of you wanted to, then it would probably be me, that one, and Brian. And it's not gonna hurt my feelings if there's two of you that wanna be involved.
I might consider bringing in maybe one person, if you're for approval, one person for the Marion Business Group and then the Medi Group also, so we have 5. Just so we get some input, because what they do will have a direct impact probably on their activities in some way too.
Yeah.
I think that'd be a good idea.
Okay,
Yep.
so do one of you want to do it?
He was just asking a question, not volunteering.
I can do it since I'm the one that asked the question, I guess I'm the one that automatically gets to do it.
Thank
I
you for
second that.
volunteering.
You're supporting him by seconding that. Okay, so plan on being Tim along with me.
Pending unless someone else wants to
Yeah,
jump in front.
if somebody, if someone goes home and thinks, I'd really want to participate in that, we can certainly make that happen. Brian, item number 7, ordinance 1519.
Okay, amendments to the water system improvements. There's a lengthy document in your notes there in the packet. Ordinance amending ordinance number 1517 of the city of Marion, Kansas, related to water system improvements. New ordinance would be ordinance number 1519. It was published in the Marion County Record on August 27, 2025 for standard procedure. I'll just read the first couple here. Whereas the governing body of the city of Marion, the city previously adopted ordinance number 1517, the original ordinance, authorizing funds to pay costs of acquiring and constructing certain improvements to and otherwise reconstruct, improve, equip, rehabilitate, and extend the water system, including certain new water meters, software upgrades, and water plant improvements within the city, together with all necessary appurtenances. Therefore, and thereto, and all according to the specifications and plans approved by the city, the project, as defined in the original ordinance, at a total estimated cost not to exceed $350,000, and authorizing issuance of general obligation bonds of the city to pay the cost of the project. And whereas revised estimates of the project now exceed initial estimates, the city has determined necessary to increase the estimated cost of the project to $425,000, plus costs of any interim financing and costs of issuing bonds, in order to ensure adequate funds to pay the cost of the project and to pay the cost of issuing the bonds. And whereas, in connection with the foregoing, the governing body of the city finds and determines it advisable to amend ordinance 1517 of the city. Now therefore be it ordained by the governing body of the city of Marion, Kansas, Section 2, amendment to Section 2. Section 2 of the original ordinance is defined above, is repealed and replaced with the following. The new Section 2 is payment of project costs. It is hereby authorized, ordered, and directed that the project be acquired, constructed, and installed as all hereinbefore described at a total estimated cost not to exceed $425,000, plus the cost of issuing the bonds. The project is intended to be paid from the proceeds of the city's general obligation bonds in one or more series. Definitions all words and terms not otherwise defined here shall have the meanings given to them by the original ordinance. Section 4, except as specifically amended and replaced by this ordinance, the remainder of the original ordinance is ratified and confirmed and shall continue to be in effect. Section 5, effective date, the ordinance shall be enforced and take effect from and after its adoption and approval and publication one time in the city's official newspaper. Adopted and approved by the governing body of the city of Marion, Kansas on August 18, 2025, which is our general obligation bond to do water meters. And the road feature does not have a minimum. It's based on remaining funds, so there was no need to adjust that portion of the ordinance.
So if I'm understanding this correctly, it is taking money that we could have for roads. We're not tacking this on the back end of the thing.
Correct. We're
literally
transferring money from the roads to the water meters because of the increased cost to get that project done.
Would you, if you can, and if not, maybe, well, Tim's not here, but I guess we've talked about why the cost went up. There are a couple of reasons, if I understand correctly. Would you want to speak to that?
Oh, off my memory, cost of the meters, installation of the meters,
And then the,
and shipping freight for the.
Wasn't it also an upgrade of the system that does the reading of the meters?
Yeah, the
Yes.
software.
That was the software.
Yeah.
They said if you're
And
gonna,
the ERT.
if you're,
yeah,
Or
those,
ERTs.
whatever those are. What are
ERTs.
those?
What are those?
It's a little thing that hangs right underneath the lid, and it allows the system to read it as you're driving around town.
We have to
Right, yeah.
replace those as well. That was the other thing that I couldn't think of.
The things that keep us from having to go meter to meter and walk it, yeah. Right?
That's my
Oh,
understanding.
that's what I understand too.
Yeah.
Make life easier, save labor.
So it is increasing within what we already approved, but it's increasing the part of that pie that's gonna go to the water meter project.
Correct.
Which I really hate, I really do, but I don't know what, we're gonna have a brand new water meter, ready to work, should be good for however long water meters last, which apparently is not very long, but, any other questions of Brian or anyone else?
And that was them installing them all too, correct?
Yes.
Or was it, okay.
Yeah, that's included in that, right, in
That's
that.
what I thought.
Do I have a motion?
I move we approve ordinance 1519, which is amending the ordinance 1517.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Motion moved and seconded. Discussion.
Has Brian, City Attorney Brian, taken a look at this one?
I believe he has, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, or I don't think it'd be here already,
Okay.
yeah.
Anything else? If not, all in favor of the motion being to approve the amendment. Oh, I just lost my computer.
1519,
Yeah, to
approve 1519 to amend 1517.
1517. All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, nay? Ayes have it. Airport agreement, Brian.
Yeah, the following agreement in your packet is to, between the Secretary of Transportation, Kansas Department of Transportation, KDOT, Secretary, and the City of Marion, Kansas, the recipient, collectively the parties. Recitals for this, the recipient has applied for and the Secretary approved an airport design, planning, and construction project to replace the fuel system for the Marion Municipal Airport. A public use general aviation facility is defined by KSA 75-5061, Section E. Secretary has approved the use of Kansas Airport Improvement Program, KAIP, funds from the state's General Aviation Airport Development Fund for this purpose, limited to the scope of the project as further described below. The Secretary and the recipient are empowered by the laws of Kansas to enter into the agreements of the construction, planning, and maintenance of the airport. The Secretary and the recipient desire to enter into this agreement to participate in the cost of the project through the use of state and local funds. Now, therefore, the parties agree as following. If you would like me to read the definitions,
I
I
don't think
will,
you need
or
to
we'll
read
skip
12,
that.
12 pages of
12
stuff
pages
here.
definitions.
I think everybody that's,
Oh, yeah, I've read them.
Okay, page
Someone
2 is
else
also
asked, but
definitions,
yeah,
page 3.
Brian, I mean, do we want, I don't know how much we wanna read. We've all had the opportunity to look at it, so has everybody
I'm
else.
still trying to get through the definition so I can see if there's anything else in it.
Page 4 of 12 starts the funding.
Yeah,
Okay.
go ahead and touch on that, and then I think we've got what we need.
Okay, Article 2, funding. The table below reflects the funding commitments of each party. Participating costs of construction include all the unforeseeable elements of costs within the defined scope identified after the construction phase commences. The parties agree costs and contributions reflected below are for encumbrance purposes and may be subject to change. Secretary, first party, 90% of participating costs of preliminary engineering not to exceed $4,500, and 90% of the participating costs of construction not to exceed $133,830. The remaining would be on the city as the recipient, the 10%.
Any questions with regards to this? This is what we applied for, we authorized Darren to apply for quite a while back.
This is just us accepting the approval and saying we'll move forward with the proper terms.
Didn't we approve something similar to this a couple weeks
We
ago?
had to send it back to them. That
Was
was,
that-
well, no, that was different than this one. I can't. It was something that they had to have,
Okay,
I think, to then send us this.
This
Yeah.
is just so we can sign off on it and get it sent back in so the thing can get rolling, because we
Okay.
can't do anything until we sign off on it and send it back.
Thank you, Janet.
Yes.
Yeah.
So if for some reason, if the total project comes in over that 153,700, the state's only paying that amount. So if it would come in more than that, then we would have to decide whether we go forward, and then we'd have to cover the
It's on
additional
the
cost.
city, yes.
Okay,
Yes, sir.
that's the way I understood it, but just
The-
wanted clarification.
I guess the good news, the way, from my way of looking at it is, we're not, I mean, money's money, and there's no such thing as a little money, but, well, actually there is, but the amount that we could, unless something that I totally don't understand what it would be, would drive this to some kind of heights of expense beyond what anyone has ever mentioned, we're talking about maybe it'll be an extra $1,000 or something, as I understand it.
Right.
Did the council authorize the mayor to sign the agreement? I'll move that you do so.
If that was a motion, then yes, I second it.
That was a motion, I'm sorry.
Yes.
I have a motion and a second discussion.
I had one question, maybe it's not anything to be concerned about. Down towards the end of it, where there's a lot of information about the airport and the city, and we have the point of contact as Mark and Mark's email address in there, and then a contact phone, which I don't know, and maybe it doesn't matter at this point if Mark's emails are getting forwarded automatically to you, Brian. It may not be that big of
I
a
think
deal.
we sent that information to them already to
Okay.
update that. Yeah.
Okay.
I would accept as an amendment that the council approve the mayor to sign the document with appropriate contact information accompanying it. It's pretty easy to interlineate that kind of a change in this sort of thing, but it's just an agreement. I don't think it's going to be a big problem, but I agree with you. We want to make sure and give them Brian's contact info.
I allow amendment of my second as well.
Thank you. All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Ayes have it unanimously.
Because I don't think Darren had said before we could really even put it out to bid until we got the agreement signed.
Yeah,
Was that
I
correct?
think
Correct.
that's right. I think that's
That
right,
was,
yeah.
that was my understanding.
Okay, we are ready for the Nicely agreement. And while he's pulling that out, I know that there has been, that's gone back and forth between Bina and Brian. Now on Bina is just Bina, because too many Brian. But, and the couple of things were changed. One was that the term of the agreement itself. And seems like there was one other thing, wasn't there? It
Yeah.
initially was 5 years, right?
Correct, we lowered that to 3 years for auto renewal, but there's a 90-day period, 60-day period, where we can go in and say we want to do something different or end it with notice. And then they, in turn, can do the same thing if they'd like to.
And this is, basically what we're doing there is, the agreement is between, we're allowing the Nisley company to operate in Marion, pick up the recycling in Marion. And so our obligation there is basically to protect the public and make sure they're not being abused in some form or fashion. But I know that Bina, feels bad to say it that way, but that Mr. Bina and Mr. Wells both discussed that. I monitored that discussion and agreed with them that 5 years was a little bit long, and so that was the main change.
Correct.
And Brian, so are you asking, tonight, are we asking the council to again authorize the mayor to enter into the agreement?
Correct.
Anyone have any questions, or anyone have a motion?
I'd like to see the agreement before we approve it.
Yeah, I unfortunately don't have my copy with me. It missed the file, I'm sorry.
Okay. How about,
Can bring it back, or I can forward it to you all.
why don't we, is it time sensitive? I mean, they're already doing it.
No, it's not time sensitive. There's no money involved. There's no, we're operating.
Let's,
It's,
can we just place this on the agenda for our next regular meeting?
yes, sir.
Anyone have a problem with that?
Nope.
And we'll send that out to all of you before that,
Thank you.
give you a chance to read it. Yes, my apologies.
That's all right.
So, does that mean that Janet has to come back the next meeting as well, Brian? Is that what's that?
What's that? No, we'll continue with the
Janet?
library one, because we're ready for that one.
Okay.
Okay.
Janet, I'm talking about you, you're not listening. Do you want to come up here if you don't mind, please? Brian, do you want to introduce it?
I'll introduce it, yeah,
Okay.
and then I've got some photos to hand along they can start looking at. Our Marion Public Library has significant issues with 6 of the windows that face outside in the building. I think it's 3 on each side, if I remember correctly. I went over there and took a look at that, and we have pictures here for you to show it. There's a grant through the Everhart Foundation that the library would like to apply for here at the end of the month. We need to put a quick RFP together and submit for bids for that, so that we can give a good number on the letter that Janet's going to write to give into the grant folks. I did authorize some temporary work to seal those windows and fix the one that has the glass coming out of the frame, so we could prevent further damage to the building. It would be beneficial to the library to have those replaced, and I believe we're also going to make them aesthetically matching
Yes.
the original windows, correct?
Right,
Yeah. So that's the goal of the grant.
These are the original windows to the,
Well, they're windows I put in when they redid the depot.
okay,
Yeah. So they are new, but
Yeah.
23 years old.
So, okay, that, to me, my first thought was, well, how can this be? This thing is brand new.
But it's 23 years old.
It's been
Yeah,
23
it
years.
doesn't seem like it.
Seriously.
I still don't think we should be seeing rot that way.
Didn't that library was inside of that historical district boundary, wasn't it? When they did that, would that have any,
Yeah.
I mean, like the replacement of those windows?
I don't think they
would-
can wait that long working at those.
We're applying for a grant on it. I mean, if we get the
If we
grant,
get the grant, then it
no
won't
big
matter.
deal, but
Right.
if we're not.
Well, I
then-
guess that's true. If we get the grant and we get that, then we'll, but at this point, I think we need to do whatever we can do to move ahead and work on it.
Right.
What you authorized done, I'm assuming it basically is a Band-Aid to prevent further damage.
Yeah, a few $100, we had a local company go in and just kind of try to prevent more issues in the short term till we can get possibly the grant done this year. If they award it, if not, then we'd apply next year, and we would keep trying unless we find funds another way.
What's the estimated cost to fix them?
Ballpark 15,000. That's, we'll issue the RFP so that we can acquire sufficient number of bids, or the bids that are available to us to move forward. I anticipate having that out, listed by the end of the week, and then we'll have it up for 2 weeks, for 10 days, probably 10 days. We'll contact local providers and provide the RFP so they can respond accordingly. And Janet did, when we were discussing it, did say that one of the family members that tied to the grant.
Yeah, Lisa used to use the library a lot. She was a librarian at Newton Public Library, and she used the Marion Library a lot. So I feel like with that connection to her, which I applied and wrote in the grant, that we knew Mason, visited with her, that hopefully we have a good chance of getting a grant, so.
I sent in on one explanation of what they were going to look at, and they did mention that things that were, they mentioned that lady and what she had done, and that things that were close to the family would undoubtedly receive strong consideration, so I bet you're right on
I
that.
think we have a good chance, yeah.
What, do you remember, Janet, when do they announce whether grants are being awarded or
I
not?
think October 31st was the deadline, that they would let us know after October 31st.
Okay, we don't have to wait. I just think for the amount of money involved, yeah, if we can get a grant, let's get a grant, but we can't ignore that. I really do think that library is one of our neater community features. And give great to Janet for the way she takes care of things over there.
It's neat as a pin in there. I was impressed. It's neat as a pin in there. I was very impressed.
Oh, neat as a pin.
Yeah, neat as a pin, yeah, excuse me.
I thought you were saying it needed a pin. I didn't know what that meant.
No, it needs window.
Good point.
Yeah.
So, Janet's merely asking our blessing to go forward with this?
Yeah, it would technically exceed my 15,000 if the bids came in higher, so that's
Okay.
why we're asking ahead of time.
Okay. Janet, anything you wanted to add to what we've already said?
No, just that it's very important that we get this done as soon as possible, because we have all the leaks that we've had so much water damage in the library from the roof and the downspouts that we can't afford the windows to be an issue too. So
Do we have the other issues corrected?
every time it rains, I run down to check. So far, so good.
Okay, on the downspouts and the roof seems to be,
Yeah,
Okay.
it's been a bad year for the leaks this year. We've had so many, even in the Santa Fe room, which is fairly new. Of course, it's 10 years already, but yeah, we've had quite a bit of damage there this summer. So, but every time it rains, so far we're pretty good. But I always wonder.
Well, I'll move that we authorize the library board to seek a grant from the Everhard Foundation
second.
in the amount that's necessary to repair the windows.
And
Got
the
a
library
second?
board was all for doing that too and getting that going. So,
Any further questions or discussion? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Ayes have it. Thank you.
great.
Thanks,
you,
Janet.
Carol.
Thank you.
We'll hope for the best.
That's right.
That's right.
Before we get to, next item on the agenda is public forum. I probably should have brought this up earlier, but I would ask permission for us to talk about. We, in the transition from Mark to Brian, I think the budget it's still being worked on by Lloyd Group, but we haven't had the meetings that we were going to be having. I would like to, September 2nd, I think, is when we've got it scheduled for approval of the budget. I would ask the council's discussion as to whether we could have a special meeting sometime next week. I think logically, we could just say, oh, let's do it next Monday, but then that could potentially put staff in a bind. So I think it'd make more sense to try to do it maybe later in the week.
Mike, can I interject something?
Yes, sir.
You're required to publish that budget 10 days in advance of your budget hearing. And unless it's in this week's paper, your September 2nd hearing is gone. And it's actually technically past our deadline for this week.
Your use of the word technically intrigues me, sir.
Well, it is.
If we were to get that to you yet today or tomorrow morning, is that something that could be accomplished?
We can try to get it done, but you guys are not going to have any consideration of it, other than, I don't know who's.
Oh, you mean we don't get to look at a proof? Is that what?
No, you'll get approved, but I don't know whether the rest of the council has seen any of it.
Well, I get your point, yeah.
And I don't know what it takes to change the date, because the revenue neutral notices have already gone out that date.
Mm-hmm.
If we had a window, we could still push it to the second meeting and be legal, if I remember correctly.
Okay.
The second meeting in September, that was our fallback date.
If you're looking for me for confirmation, don't.
No, I'm pretty confident in that, because I think when we set it up, we set that up intentionally just in case we ran into an issue that we could move it.
And as I understand it, that's true,
Yeah.
but I don't know whether the revenue neutral notice that the county sent out would have to be resent because of this, which they might object to.
Well,
For
I think all I
changing
can
the
do is
date,
try to
is that
find
what you're
it out
saying?
tomorrow.
Yeah.
I didn't think so, but I can double check.
I think rather than, I don't know. I don't know that, I'd like to blame someone, but I don't have anyone to blame. Because I really hope that this year we would be better in this regard, but the timing of the changeover didn't work out well for us. I talked to Brian today. I know that he and I had an earlier discussion about setting in place some deadlines, or not, well, deadlines, I guess, or timeframes that on this date we'll need information from staff. On this date, time, you can't say a specific date because that changes as the calendar changes, but within a time frame that he and I would meet, and then after that would be beginning a series of meetings with he and the council to go through. So but that's also what I had hoped we would do this year, but it didn't happen. So I would rather than rush this any more than I was already talking about doing, given Eric's information, which I appreciate, I would rather we do whatever we need to do to take this back to our fallback date. And Brian, I'm sorry, I'm going to say, and I'll help you any way I can, but call the county tomorrow morning and see where we are on the revenue.
I'll just go over there. I'll do it in person.
Take your beating in person.
Done it before in my life. I can do it again.
Okay.
So do you think there'd be like a chance if we did like a study session then, like that week of the 8th or something before that hearing, where we could all see it, or what are you thinking?
Well, if we're going to bump it to the week after the 2nd, we could do the discussion on the 2nd.
Yeah, and the only reason that we're pushing is because of the newspaper notice, so
Gotcha.
everything else would still be tracking.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
And I know you didn't mean this, but I want to say that was not a shot at the newspaper. The newspaper has no responsibility for anything.
Yeah, no.
So then that meeting would be on Tuesday the 2nd with Labor Day.
Yeah.
Labor Day, yeah,
Gotcha.
right.
Gotcha.
That's,
Okay.
we're meeting on that Tuesday.
Gotcha,
That's right.
okay.
Do we just want to plan at 5 o'clock like typical?
I mean, I think the reasons that we moved it to 5 was to make it more accessible to the public. What is the public interested in more than the budget? So I think logically we'd keep it at 5,
This is for which date?
the second for the
That's a
discussion.
regularly scheduled
That's a
council
regular
meeting.
That's a
Yeah.
regular meeting.
Well, you said, should we move it?
Oh, sorry, I don't know. I guess Tuesday's throwing me off.
Monday's Labor Day.
Yeah.
I thought Amy was
Okay.
suggesting perhaps we should move
I'm
it up.
tracking.
Keep it at 5, yeah.
Okay, very good. Okay. Public forum.
Good evening, Cody Nelson. We are part of a small voluntary committee that's been formed for the community. We'd like to, with that said, we'd like to ask for permission to apply for the Everhart grant because some activities may fall within the community, so.
For you to buy new clothes?
We're not real sure yet. We just.
Well,
would like to-
gotta give us a little more information, guys.
Yeah, it would consist of trying to come up with an event center. I don't feel like Marion's had an event center. There really isn't one, you know. I mean, so, but we're at ground zero at the moment. We just, you know, if it falls within the city walls, we just like, just out of respect, just to ask you guys permission to be able to apply for the Everhart grant.
But when you said falls within the city walls, you mean within the
Wherever
city
it may-
limits? Yeah. You're looking for a place to put an event center.
Yeah, at this point, it's all exploratory, you know, it's just, you know, where could something like this even land, you know, so, it'd just be something good for the community.
Does I don't know enough about the Everhart grant to know, would you have to use the city as like the funnel, let's say, right? Can you apply as does that make sense what I'm asking? Like, can you apply would the city have to apply on your behalf, or how does that, do you know how that works?
Well, I mean, we don't know where this thing's gonna go, so, I believe you've gotta have a 501c3, is my understanding of this.
Okay.
Everhart, you know, not like with Janet applying, I'm sure the city has to do something, you know, but, you know, for us, we would have to go through a 501c3.
Okay.
And that's anybody that's applying.
Sure.
So,
I think, or governmental unit. I think a governmental unit can do
I
it.
believe a government, yes,
But
yes.
you plan on using the community foundation? Is that what you guys are thinking about doing?
This is all ground zero at the moment, you know, we've met a couple of times just to discuss, you know, even the option of maybe an event center somewhere.
So, I think what you're saying is you're just asking us
Asking the
to
city's
say,
blessing.
hey, we have no problem with that, go
Yes.
gather information.
Yeah,
Right, exactly.
we're gonna gather all the information and then, you know, we'll come back, you know. But this grant, if we get anything, could be used for, you know, like architectural studies, engineering studies, you know. So we're just a voluntary group that, so
Okay.
just asking you guys' blessing.
Okay, so you're not
It's
going,
within
you're
the
not
city.
going out to get money to start breaking ground. You're hoping to get money to allow you to study, prepare, whatever.
Yes, yes.
Okay,
Yeah, and
okay.
this is all, you know, new and grounds, we're just now finally getting to that point where we thought, well, we're gonna ask you guys, just out of respect, means it's gonna be within the city, so.
You're usually good for a question.
No, I get it, I just don't know what we have to do to approve or disapprove or
Are you,
give a
so,
blessing.
so if I say to the council, does anyone here see an issue that, do you have red flags going up, and if you do, speak up. And if you don't, then I guess what we're saying to you, if we don't see red flags, is knock yourself out and let us know what you come up with.
Yeah, it's just something for the community that we thought would be a good, your thing, you know, and like I said, we don't know where it's gonna go yet or anything like that. This is all early, so.
I don't have any objection.
Yeah, I don't have an objection. I think that if you guys are just starting out and wanting to explore that option, something great for the community,
Yes, it's a voluntary committee.
I'd
that got
say that's
together and
wonderful.
Come
Yeah.
up with some different ideas and.
That's where it
so
starts.
it's just something good for the people in this.
If and when you really want something from us, I guess let
Yeah,
us know.
we'll come back,
But at
yeah.
this point,
Right.
yeah, I don't
This
see
point, we're
reason to.
just, you know, we want to, you know, apply and see if we get some money so we can then start doing some studies. You know, whenever we get a location, if you will, so.
Okay. Go forth and prosper.
We appreciate it. Thank you.
Thanks.
All right. Good luck, guys.
Thank you.
You have 2 weeks to get it in. Gene says you have 2 weeks to
It's
get
gotta
it in.
be in by August 31st,
Correct.
whatever you're asking
Yes,
for. Yeah.
yes, absolutely, yeah. Thank you.
Yep,
Thanks,
Thank
guys.
you.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Okay, we'll close the public forum and go to department reports. And, your job, chief, is to give Marco the microphone.
Oh, thanks a bunch.
You might have had to turn it on for, can you get it?
Okay, I think that's good. Is that good?
Yep, go
Yeah.
ahead.
I'm living and breathing art in the park. So I came in today with 3 pages of notes from the weekend. People reaching out over email and Facebook Messenger. So that's all I'm doing.
Margot, you might speak to, I noticed last week when I was headed to McPherson that the Marion sign out at the entrance to the Federal Reservoir blew over, and you're doing something with that, right?
Yeah, I was going out to take them flyers to the Corps of Engineers. They put them up for me, and I about had a cow when I saw that. But anyway, decided that I really would appreciate having a big banner there for Art in the Park. You know, it's been a few years since the Corps of Engineers had a budget to where they were giving me statistics, but the last one I heard was 400,000 people a year or a season at that reservoir. So, you know, I want them to not only go to Hillsborough, I want them to come to Marion. So I can get a big banner made by next week, and the guys have graciously agreed to put it on a frame for me and put it up out there for $205, and I think I'll well get $205 worth of good out of it. Then I can use it somewhere else once we replace that sign out there and put the metal Art in the Park sign back underneath it the way it was.
Anything else?
So then, I know you love hearing from me. I'll pass it.
Well, wait a minute. Anybody have any questions for Margot?
Well,
Okay.
be sure and mark your calendars and come to the park, or I know where you all live.
Jason?
Let's see, we're in week 3 of our chlorine burnout and starting to see the residuals that we're wanting to see kind of starting today. So that's a good thing. We'll go through Labor Day and then we'll be done. Other than that, I don't really have a whole lot. I was out of the area for a while, and some guys had an issue over the weekend, and I wanted to thank my crew for stepping up and doing what they did to help out a customer. So I thought that was really cool. But for the most part, we're making water.
Technically, you're cleaning water, you're not making it.
Right.
I don't think you can
Make
make
it
it.
drinkable water.
Drinkable water. There you go.
Said-
I did think of one more thing. I don't know if you noticed the ad that Gene had on the screens, the TV screens at the beginning. That is the ad that the merchants are doing for the 2026 state travel guide that was approved by MEDI. Gene, can you put it back up, or please? Anyway, that's our ad. So hope you guys like it.
Kind of sucks.
Good, Jen.
right here.
Well, I know, but I was just waiting, I've seen it, I was just waiting to see if it, I can't believe
There we
you're the
go.
one.
I know, imagine that, I didn't even print it. Looks good.
I like it.
Yeah, it looks good.
I'm curious, Eric, in the past, we've talked about signs, and you've been, I don't want to label you a minimalist, but you have advocated that maybe more isn't better on some of ours, and I tend to agree. What do you think of that?
I think it's very good that it has only a few words in it, and I would accept your definition.
If I could add, one reason they went this way with the Medi group is the fact that there's so many other ads that get placed in the book are overloaded with things, and they thought it might grab more attention with the less is more theory.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah, looks good.
James? Whoa, went right by Steve.
Nothing, he did that intentionally.
Just a couple of quick things here. Just a quick update on 120 West Senate today. You guys started putting a fence up this afternoon, but I don't know how much more he's going to do because he did come in and visit with me some more on that. And on the solar, we was kind of a little late getting to Brian with it after we looked it all over and stuff. Mr. Bina. We got it to Mr. Bina a little late, so he could not do anything with that. It was just too lengthy, the solar agreement and everything. He wanted time to look it over. So it'll be at the next council meeting when you guys will get to see it again. So Brian, he's going to look it over real close for us. Any questions?
Any updates, anything with the building on Main Street, top Main Street?
Yeah, there's a buyer for the building, and I have no idea who the buyer is, and they kind of wanted to drag their feet about some things that I feel are very urgent, and so we're pressing on with the council's orders on that there on the asbestos survey and the removal. We're pushing on that.
Is it scheduled yet for the
What's that again,
is it scheduled yet for the asbestos survey? Like, do you have it in the
I have
books,
no
or
idea if
is
they
it-
scheduled it yet or
Oh,
not.
I was just kind of curious.
Yeah. Well, we got in this morning, seen the email that we saw, and we responded to it. So.
Sir?
Nothing for the police department.
Well,
Everything's going good.
it's kind of a new day here. Surely you have something's different or better or worse or something.
Everything's going good, so I can't complain. So, there is a lot of change in the department, but change is good sometimes.
Brian, now I call everyone Brian.
Everybody, Brian now. It'd be easier that way.
You and I talked a little bit about your duty schedule, and I mean, I think all of us assume that there'll be a point where the chief is available, generally speaking, during the day. But it's not the case right now. Would you just explain that for everyone, please?
So just to keep everything going the way that it is going and everybody happy, on Monday through Thursday, I'm working at 1 P to 1 A. And then Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, I'm on my normal night shift. But that being said, I was out during the day today, and then tomorrow I'll be out as well. So I'm still available anytime throughout the day, but on the weekends I'm typically just night shift for now. Hopefully when we get when we get 5 guys, that will change. But just to keep everything going the way that it is right now, let the dust kind of settle. I'm staying on my night shift fully Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, but splitting it up a little bit on the week.
So we can call him at 2 o'clock in the morning. Not have to worry about
Available
getting him
middle
out
of
of
the
night.
night.
He said I was stuck at about 9, 10 o'clock this morning.
Yeah. Actually, I sent it at like 4:30 last night.
Oh, okay.
that's just when you look at it. Aaron, Brian and I talked briefly about this today. I do want to, there are just so many horror stories. And what made me think of this was something that Finn Harnett had posted on one of his social media things that he does, that someone else showed me because I don't do that. But it was with regard to a city hiring an officer and then finding out just a horrible, horrible past. And I just want to make sure that that doesn't become us as we go forward. So just be prepared for me to be pressuring Brian, to be pressuring you, to make sure that anybody that we're going to consider, to the extent that we can find out, is not bringing any nasty past with them to the
Do you
job.
want me to explain to the rest of the council about our process when we hire, or?
Well, you'd be explaining it to me too, so that's fine, yeah.
Well, I explained it to you in the interview process.
I'm old, I don't remember that.
Okay, well, I'll just refresh. So, when we look at a candidate, we'll have an interview, one-on-one, and then.
I do remember that now.
Okay, but then we'll have a board or a panel interview. So last time when we went through this process, we had somebody from a neighboring agency outside of the county sit in, and then we had Jeremiah Lang sit in too. And we interviewed everybody, and then we picked two out of the interview, or out of the applicant pool, to come and do a written test. And you have to get a 70% overall on the written test. It goes over spelling, comprehension, and math. And then based on the test results, if they get above a 70, then we have them go do a polygraph at Newton PD. And then at the end of the polygraph, the individual administering the test will then send us his report over the results. And then based on that, then we'll go through who we're going to pick. So that's something new that we've started within the last, I'd say, year maybe. And I may add that we're the only agency in the county that does a polygraph. So I think that's, I mean, they're inadmissible in any court, but I think it's a good reference to figure out what type of person we're going to be getting. I don't think there's a thing of having too much knowledge of the person, so anything that we can do. And like he said, we don't want to have a situation that what he read about happened in Marion. So we don't want to hire somebody, think that we know the individual really well, do a background test, and then lo and behold, there's a history that we didn't know about. So to try to get rid of all that is why we implemented the polygraph test.
Thank you, appreciate it. Janet? Brian?
Okay, I've got a few things to cover with you. The other side of the bond ordinance that we talked about earlier that you approved is the roadwork section. With the roadwork section, we are focused on the areas of North Coble Street that needs to be redone because of damage incurred during construction, etc. And then a couple blocks of North Roosevelt as well. We're working on a recommendation to issue an RFP for that work to be done. The evaluation that we did of an offer we had for that work, and EBH did some comparison shopping with some other projects in the area. Didn't prove to be as fruitful as we hoped, so we are going to move forward with the RFP to get bids for that project. So the difference was higher than, well, it didn't work out in our favor. So anyway, we'll go through with the RFP process. EBH will write the scope of that work for us. I visited with Tim about it, so we'll get that issued here as soon as I can get the scope back from EBH, and then we'll post it and seek bids from the vendors. There's none in the town, the city, there's none in the county. It'll be outside the vendor that has to do that, so more likely from a larger community. But we'll reach out to them and notify them when that gets posted, so they have the opportunity to apply, and we'll try to get the best deals we can off of that.
I want to thank Brian or recognize Brian, whatever, for, I think, getting Darren involved on that process and make sure we're, that all the Ts are getting crossed and the Is getting dotted and that we're making good decisions. Good for you.
Sure, absolutely. We want to be best stewards of the resources we're given. The next is the park improvement project. That is a result of the LMI survey that allows us to get grant funding through the state. And parks is where we want to go after on that. We talked about splash pad, improving some of our current facilities that we have now, where some things are worn and need to be updated as time has gone by faster than we had imagined. And so we're working on a project description and a bottom line cost. That requires a public meeting, and the public meeting has certain deadlines. After the notice is posted in the paper, 5 full days, not counting the day of posting and the day of the meeting. So that's like 7 days if you look at it that way. So the following dates are available to have a public meeting and decision for that on September 20th, 21st, 22nd, or 23rd. And that is at that time so that we can meet the October 15th deadline, which requires 15 days before that the public meeting be held.
Run those dates by again, please.
Dates of the 20th, 21st, 22nd, or 23rd of September.
The 20th is a Saturday.
Yeah, we got Saturday, Sunday.
Did I look at the wrong calendar? Pardon me. Let me review that. I correct myself. That would be 23rd, 24th, 25th, or, nope. September, okay, yeah, 23rd, 24th, 25th, or 26th.
Okay, and this would be for the purposes of the public meeting necessary for the grant application?
Yes, yeah, required by the grant, that we bring that project description and the bottom line cost to that meeting.
Okay.
And the bottom line cost is our best guesstimate for that, of course. But that's gonna help frame where we believe the grant money will come out of.
So did we meet that, the low
Let's
income
say, can we
thing?
back up, did the LMI survey come back above the?
Yes, yeah, wasn't a lot of wiggle room, but there was enough there to make us legal to apply for it.
That's awesome.
Fantastic.
Yeah, that's what Mark told me.
What do you think, guys and gals? I'd just throw out that on the 24th, I will be, that evening, that afternoon, we'll be cooking all of the meat that is served at the Old Settlers Day picnic. And if you want to do it that afternoon at 5, I will be coming in here smelling like a fry cook.
What day was that?
Wednesday the 24th.
25 and 26 I'm unavailable.
No.
If it's required,
Starts to get,
available.
What'd you say, Kevin?
I said like that 26th is the Old Settlers Day golf deal,
Yeah,
and a lot of
weird,
people
yeah,
get tied
that's-
up in that stuff as well.
Yeah,
I could do the 23rd.
so could I.
Yep.
Got down to the
23rd work for you? Yeah.
I can make it work.
great. Can we just 5 o'clock on the 23rd?
Yep.
Thank you.
And Mark, you're gonna,
Close, got yourself that time.
Brian, you're going to, do
Call
all the-
Aaron, Brian, and Brian Mark. We'll get there sooner or later.
You're gonna do all the necessary, get us all the necessary notices prepared and ready to go. right?
Yes, yeah, we'll get that done.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
So we're doing it at
Yeah, the
5
Brian and
o'clock.
Brian thing is already confusing some people on email. So I'm starting to make sure I always sign my last name. Hopefully, Mr. Bina will do the same so we can help people understand who they're
Most
writing.
people just call Brian Bina, Bina.
Oh, okay. Well, I can go by my last name if necessary. if it helps.
What's next, Mark?
Okay. James already talked about the interconnection standards for installation, the solar policy. We're responding to the state law that went into effect on July 1st. Took a little while to get that from KMU, right? KMU to KPP, then to us. So James has worked significantly on that. I've reviewed it with him. We have our changes very close, I think, close to go to Mr. Bina, so that he can review that. He needed a little more time anyway, so we're double checking our efforts on that. So, and then we'll bring that, hopefully we can bring that to you on the 2nd of September for your review and approval. So, as I mentioned in the study session last week, time flies, about the yield signs, we're writing an ordinance to cover that. And we have, at the meeting, we talked about North and South Roosevelt and Fairborn Streets. There was 3 intersections. We're going to expand that to include all of the intersections north of the hospital that are already stop signed, where there's no signal, traffic signs of any sort. We're going to make those all yields on the east-west streets so that we can, you know, that's kind of where I believe you guys wanted to go. So we'll get that started done. And we'll do the one, the northern intersection that coincides with the school district.
Will that be along Roosevelt or Freeborn or both?
Both. Yeah, be on both. So, we'll write the ordinance for that. There's currently no yield sign ordinance on the books. And that will also incorporate, what I found are some existing yield signs that we have in town, particularly out near the building here. So 4th and 2nd Street, if I remember right, going south, have yield signs. And then there's another intersection, I think, south of the hospital that has yield signs that they pointed out. So we'll get all that caught up. If people are, it's working pretty good so far, but if you're looking for updates in between council meetings, you can go to the city's website at marionkansas.net, and you can find the Facebook link, or if you can find the Facebook link for City of Marion, Kansas, then we're trying to post information as it becomes available. We've had things on the tree trimming going on. We did an item on the flushing devices on the fire hydrants. That prompted Finn to write an article on that and contact us, myself and Jason, about that. So we're trying to keep information as it goes. One thing that we posted today, because tomorrow we're having an all-city team meeting between 2:30 p.m. and 3:30 p.m. There's a benefit to the employees on a couple things that might be helpful to them.
So don't call for help between 2:30 and 3:30.
Well, no, we will still respond to services. Yeah. We'll still, if there's an emergency, we will still respond to that.
Please schedule your emergency.
Please schedule your emergency for
2:30. Yeah, so, and that's all I have, unless you have any questions.
No questions.
Okay, thank you.
Anything, Tim?
All I was going to bring up was the sign that was down that we already talked about out by the reservoir. So
Kevin?
I did notice a lot of the tree trimming. I thought that made a lot of roads look a lot better.
Good.
I don't have anything else.
I've got nothing.
Amy?
I got nothing.
Do I have a motion?
I make a motion, we adjourn the meeting.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Ayes have it. Eric, any questions or anything?
Thank you for that.
Yeah, thanks for bringing up that date thing.
Yes, thank you very much.
figuring it out.
Huh?
No, Aaron, you're smart to use polygraph because the big problem is,
Would you